You wasn't yourself. You wasn't normal in them days. The mud, the filth, no.
That it should be finished.
Yes, it should be. You wanted to be finished or go. Get out, yes, yes.
Well, there was like an asylum. Someone suffered mental, from didn't know what they were up to kind of thing. The bombardments was enough to send anybody crackers. It sent me, burst my eardrum, the left ear. There's even blood poured out of it.
If you make an attack and you get killed and all that, you don't ask for it, but it's what you've joined for. It's the thing what happens to you see. Well, if you're wounded, well, that's a gift to you, see. If you're fit enough to go to England, they'll send you to Blighty, you see. But I don't, mine was a flesh wound, see.
In them days, they took the shell shock people out and gave them a rest and then brought them back again. Not like they say they got shot. I never remember any getting shot, but I do remember seeing at least 3 of them that had suffered from shell shock.
When we first had that, we had people that was being shot for cowardice. Yes, some very good men. They used to run away, you see. If they got shelled or anything like that, they'd be caught by the military police and the court-martialed. And most of them were taken away and shot. It's cowardice. But after that, they found out they wasn't cowardice. Some of the bravest men you could ever have, shell shock.
It was a German patrol out. A patrol, I mean, coming out, investigating what's what. And my company officer came down the trench. He says, "You see them out there patrolling?" I says, "Yes." He said, "Well, you know what to do, don't you?" Well, I says, "Yes." And I shot them. There'd be about a dozen. So next morning, the officer got the periscope out. I don't know whether you've seen one or not. You look through it here, and it's right above the parapet. Well, there were a dozen out there, dead.
We used to have the same as Germans, what they call raiding parties. To see who you're fighting against, and if you can get a man alive, you can get information.
We went over the top of night time, every night, to either get a prisoner or just little skirmishes. If we managed to get in one of their dugouts and
Well, do you know, it was 60. Well, there was my officer, Captain Shaw. He says to me, he said, "We're going to make a raid tonight, and there were 3 more lads volunteered. We went out there, we had Mills's bomb each, 2 or 3 Mills's bomb each. We got into a shallow. We stopped there, and he said, when I let go, and it was a machine gun that got to be put down before we went over the top again, because he kept ploughing and but he got to be put down. We made this raid, and Captain Shaw got shot through the back as if we were coming back, and 2 lads got killed.
oh, this is what they took out of me. I showed you, did I?
How did it happen?
We'd been on the bombing raid to put a German gas mask. And as we're coming back, the shoulders, and that went in my shoulder here.
How was it during such a raid upon the heights of Vipers?
Pardon?
Was it very hard to be in a raid?
Yes. But I got it, Germans.
German guards?
Yes. Was gone over the top for a German gas mask for a patent, and I went into his dugout, and these were on the table, so I grabbed them for a souvenir. And I've still got them.
The Germans were disappeared.
Yeah, oh yes, well, they killed most of them.
You killed yourself, German soldiers?
Pardon?
You've killed yourself?
Oh, I don't know how to say.
When the first gas was coming, all we had, well, we didn't have no gas mask. We just had pads to put round and tie. Tie full of chemical, choked you. Yeah, from the, and the other ones came. The next one that came was a hood with a mica front for the eyes and just a tit, and that was full of chemical. And the gas mask was soaked in was worse than the gas. It was, you wanted to strip them off.
And Jerry started to shell with the gas shell, mustard gas shell. And I was on picket, so I put my gas mask on and started along the row to working them up, you see, to get them out. And I couldn't see where I go, and I fell over. I thought, oh, blow it. I took my gas mask off, and of course that was it. Very concentrated matter of gas, very concentrated, and soon got it.
The Germans they were a good fighting force. The Germans were. You got to give them the due. They were well trained, well equipped, the best artillery, and the most machine guns. That's all I can say about the Germans. And when we took them prisoners, we treated them as human beings.
We used to see them in a prison camp. They used to have a camp, and it's all spick and span. And one day, as we were going up the line, the trenches, we happened to pass one of those, and one of our fellows said, "Yeah, you Kraut," he said. I used to call him Kraut, you know. And this Kraut said, "Yes," he says. He says, "I finished with the war," he says, "but you're not."
Did you have Christmas Day on the front line?
I had one, yes. It was very annoying. Yeah, and if I was to say it, it's not very nice. Just, someone used to say to me, "Why don't you say a Christmas greeting to go on, Bill? Have a Christmas greeting." And when you get into trenches in the woods, your voice echoes like, it disappears, you see. So I said, I'll ask them for a Christmas greeting. So I said, "Good morning, Fritzy," see? "Good morning, Fritzy." I had no answer, see? No, "Good morning, Fritzy." He says, "Bollocks, bollocks, bollocks," he said. And that was the answer I got. He used to be a waiter in London.
Instead of taking the
ammunition up in wagons on the tracks. They had tracks, so the engineers put tracks in. Instead of taking them up on the tracks, we had to use horses with pack saddles. 4 shells, 2 one side and 2 the other, and we used to have to leave them up to the guns, you see. And of course, they were continually being shelled, the track. It was a pretty rotten job, I can tell you.
I think the worst sight of all, although you see a wounded comrade and you see him, you call for the Red Cross, but when you see the horses coming across and they're wounded with shell fire and dying and squealing, if they fell down a hole, the same as the men, if they'd gone down a shell hole and they had to pull themselves out, you would see the tears of the horses crying to get out the shell holes and that with the big shells. They carried about half a dozen shells in the bandolier going up to the guns, and when they went down a hole, it's pity to hear a horse cry to pull himself out and to get out of the mud. Yes. I think it was worse because a poor horse, you have to shoot him right away in the square where he's laying and where he is. And
In de zomer van 1917 zetten de Britten alles op alles. Ze hebben specialisten getraind om ongemerkt tunnels te graven tot onder de Duitse frontlijn en installeren er 19 enorme mijnkamers, precies onder de Duitse posities. Op 7 juni om 3 uur in de morgen wordt het Duitse front tussen Hill 60 en Mason over een afstand van 8 kilometer in de lucht geblazen.
Within, I should think 500 yards of the explosion. When it went up, we went forward. We didn't get very far because of the huge crater.
Zo liquideren de Britten het Duitse gevaar op de hoogten ten zuiden van Ypres, van waaruit ze 2 jaar lang in de rug werden beschoten. Maar generaal Haig, de Britse opperbevelhebber, wil ook Passendale, de hoogste Duitse positie ten oosten van Ypres. Tienduizenden Britse soldaten trekken op naar de salient, naar de dood. Het is juli. Langs het kanaal van Ypres naar Boezingen worden kanonnen geïnstalleerd, om de 7 meter. Ze zullen voorbereidende bombardementen uitvoeren voordat het voetvolk ten aanval trekt. Dat voetvolk wordt om 3 uur in de morgen van 31 juli de loopgraven uitgejaagd, in de gietende regen. Dezelfde avond nog zitten ze vast in het slijk, nauwelijks 1 kilometer verder.
When he was ready for going over the top, there were officers there with a revolver to shove one through if you're a coward, and if you didn't go, you was court-martialed and shot.
And when you got your rum ration, when we got the rum ration, they told you got a spoonful of rum, kill or be killed. That's what they told you. That's how you set off. Terrible memory, terrible.
That's very hard to do.
It was with a rifle, and you'd 20 Military bombs in a sandbag as well, you know. You were loading up.
What did the Germans do?
Pardon?
What did the Germans do when you were out of the trenches?
Well, they'd left the front line altogether. And when we got to the front line, they're gone. And they'd gone into the second line, and we had to go and seek them. But they found us first, mowed our lot down. There were 300 of us, and I think there were about 50 got back.
When he went over the top there was popping them round like